TYT Sports, everybody. Brought back the man, the myth, the legend, Britton Harden. You talk boxing?
You know, I don't know anything about boxing, but I'll try since I'm here today with you guys.
All right, man. Well, we're here for the Pacquiao and Algieri fight. That was last night. It was a hell of a fight. It was good 12 rounds. Mostly Pacquiao kicking the shit out of Algieri, but I'm not the one here to talk about boxing. You're the one here to talk about boxing. So take us through a little bit of the fight, what you saw, what you liked, what you didn't.
The reoccurring theme for me in this fight was the show. The show was back, and you know, obviously by the show I mean the Manny Pacquiao show. He came out and did everything that you would expect a prime Manny Pacquiao to do against a fighter with the attributes that he was fighting. Obviously, Chris Algieri brings a lot of difficult tools to the ring that you thought that he would be able to take advantage of a lot better. Obviously, his 5'11" height, Manny's only 5'6". You know, his really good footwork. You know, he emphasized on, and you know, during the buildup of the fight, how much of a master boxer he was, how he wasn't going to stay in the pocket, how he wasn't going to give up his height, how he was going to fight behind the jab. And you saw damn near from the get-go, he threw that jab out there and Manny countered it with a straight left hand, and he thought about throwing that jab every round afterwards. You know, it really had to take him to get psyched up to let his punches go. I don't think he started to let off combinations until like the 5th round. You know, to his credit, he had no amateur background. He came into the fight with, you know, a kickboxing background, kickboxing experience, and just his 20th fight, he's in there with one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of all time. So, you know, really good fight, but like you said, he really got blown away.
Yeah, and I mean, credit to Algieri. This guy lasted 12 rounds with Pacquiao, and granted, there's a lot of talk about the knockdowns, and there was, technically speaking, 6 total knockdowns, right? But if you didn't really watch the fight, that doesn't really tell you anything, because a few of those weren't legitimate knockdowns, but they're just, I guess, classified that way. Which ones were legitimate? Which ones were more of?
Well, I'll say this. It's not necessarily which punches or which knockdowns rather were legitimate, more so than which knockdowns were effective, right? So in boxing, any time your knee or your glove touches the canvas as a result of a punch, in any fashion, it's a knockdown. So yeah, he's stepping back, steps into a puddle of water, and his leg gives. Manny Pacquiao punches him. It's a knockdown. So that happened twice in the fight, right? One of the knockdowns, he actually took a knee to gather his faculties. And I mean, that is something that a smart fighter will do when they're on the verge of being knocked out. And it takes a lot of wherewithal, and it takes a lot of boxing ring knowledge and experience to give up that knee, you know, because you have to think, I just got knocked down, I'm hurt. If I give up another knee, I'm gonna be down way more significantly on points. But obviously, you know, it takes a confident fighter to take a knee, a smart fighter to say, you know what, I think that I can come back from this. So that was one knockdown. He actually took a knee himself. But there were 2 very impressive knockdowns in the fight, which kind of speaks to, like we said, the show being back. Manny Pacquiao landed that straight left hand, you know, numerous times in the fight, but whenever he landed it on the button, man, you could just tell that it took an effect on Chris Algieri's legs. Like, you know, he's a tall, lanky guy, and he likes to use his legs. You know, a lot of good movement, but you know, he got stiffened up when he took those punches. And so there was one punch where, you know, he kind of fell into the ropes, and then Manny flurried, and, you know, he fell as a result of that. And I think it was round 9, which was the very impressive knockdown. You know, I think he tried to sit down on the left hook, catch Manny coming in with a check hook, and Manny just slipped it and caught him with an overhand left, and he had to have a seat. And I mean, this really produced TV gold. It was, you know, big shout out to HBO, Max Kellerman, and Tim Lane, Chris Algieri's trainer. They created television gold when Tim Lane was being interviewed by Max Kellerman, and he says, you guys are down several rounds in the fight. We heard you say that you guys were gonna, kind of hold back and give up the first 4 rounds. What's the logic behind that? And Tim Lane says, I haven't let him out the cage yet. I'm about to let him out the cage. And when I do, he's about to put Manny to sleep. You just watch. And as he's saying, we're gonna put Manny to sleep, Manny lands that devastating left hand that puts him on his ass. I mean,
self-fulfilling prophecy right there.
Self-fulfilling prophecy, but but for the wrong corner.
Right. Chris Algieri, so he's taken 6 times he goes down, regardless if it was, for get your mental well-being back in action, whether him trying to find a way to unleash. Was there any chance Algieri was going to win this fight going in? Because the things I saw, at least noticed while watching, one, Pacquiao's 63rd, 64th fight to Algieri's 20th fight. You mentioned that he wasn't an amateur boxer, so he's kind of just coming to this. So all credit to this man. The guy's got a fucking chin of steel. He's got a body of Kevlar.
Yeah.
So he took a lot of hits. But at the same time, it was just it wasn't even outmatched. It just seemed out-experienced.
Well, it wasn't. It's out-experienced and it's outclassed. Class comes with experience. And anyone's gonna look good in the first round. No one's broken a sweat. No one's been punched in the mouth yet. Like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. No one's been seriously damaged or compromised at this point. Everyone comes into the fight very confident. But it's over time that class shows up. And this is with anything in life. Manny was just very patient. He didn't get overzealous. He didn't take a lot of risks early, which ultimately set him up for, okay, now I've peppered Chris Algieri a few times. He feels my power. He knows that he can't throw those combinations that he was throwing against Ruslan Provodnikov. He knows that I can cut the ring off. My foot speed matches his foot speed, if not better. So now I'm going to let my class show up and be the determining factor in this fight.
Right. So, I mean, there it is. Pacquiao moves on to his, what number win this was for Pacman?
Man, I believe it was 56.
56, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks for watching TYT Sports. Don't forget to follow Britain on Twitter @CoolAsBritain. Follow us, subscribe to us, and we'll see you next time when we bring you some more awesome boxing coverage.